Look at this ghetto girl thinking she belongs here, Michael Brown sneered, blocking Ava's path as she tried to enter Jefferson High. His boys, Daniel Davis and Brandon Clark, laughed behind him, enjoying the show like it was their personal entertainment system. Ava slowly lifted her head, and something flickered in her dark eyes that made the entire hallway go dead silent. The fire that appeared in her gaze wasn't fear. It was recognition, like a lion that just spotted a gazelle. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life," she said quietly, her voice carrying an authority that cut through their laughter like a hot knife through butter. What Michael didn't know was that he was about to get absolutely demolished by someone who'd been hiding a secret that would change everything at Jefferson High forever. But before I tell you what happened next, you need to smash that like button right now, because what you're about to see will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about judging people by their appearance. Let me paint you the full picture of how we got here. 17-year-old Ava Washington had just transferred to Jefferson High in suburban Portland after her grandmother passed away in Oakland. While her family saw this as a fresh start, Ava was carrying a secret that nobody at this vanilla suburb school could have imagined. For 5 years, she'd been training at Martinez Boxing Academy, not some fancy fitness center, but a real gym where future champions were forged. Coach Martinez was a former Golden Gloves champion who'd seen something special in this quiet girl from the projects. "Most kids come in here talking tough," Coach Martinez had told her on day one. "But you got that calm before the storm." He was right. Ava's left hook could drop grown men twice her size. Back in Oakland, everybody knew her as Lightning Ava, 3-time junior champion with Olympic trainers calling her house every week. But here's the crazy part. Her grandmother's dying words made her promise to keep her boxing gloves in the closet and focus on her books. She was going to be just another student. Yeah, that lasted exactly 3 days. The problems started immediately. Michael Brown was Jefferson High's golden boy. Star quarterback, honor roll student, and son of the biggest real estate developer in town. But underneath that all-American image lived something ugly. During Ava's first lunch period, Michael made his grand entrance at her table like he owned the place, which, considering his dad's influence, he basically did. "I'm Michael. This is my school, and I like to personally welcome all our new students," he said, the word students dripping with venom. "I'm Ava. Nice to meet you." "Ava?" Michael tested the name like it was contagious. "Very urban. Let me guess. Your dad's doing time and your mom's collecting welfare?" The cafeteria went movie quiet. Students pulled out phones, smelling drama. "My father's a college professor and my mother's a registered nurse," Ava said evenly, her voice steady as a rock. Michael laughed with pure venom. "Right. Look, I'm going to make this simple for you. This isn't some inner-city school. We have standards here. $20 a week and we make sure nobody bothers you. Think of it as insurance." Ava saw past his designer clothes to the insecurity rotting underneath. This wasn't about money. This was about putting the new black girl in what he thought was her place. "I need to think about it," she said. "Smart girl. You got until tomorrow morning." That night, Ava called Coach Martinez, hands shaking. "Coach, it's Ava. Lightning, how's the new school?" She told him everything. When she finished, there was silence. "Listen carefully," Coach Martinez said, serious as a heart attack. "Your grandmother was right about choosing battles wisely, but there's a difference between being smart and letting people walk all over you because of where you come from. But I promised her, you promised to be better, not to be a victim. Sometimes you got to show people who you really are." The next day, Michael found Ava at her locker between classes. The hallway was packed, perfect timing for his usual public humiliation show. "So, we got a deal?" Ava closed her locker slowly. "No deal." Michael's smile vanished faster than free pizza at college. "Excuse me?" "I said no." A crowd formed like sharks smelling blood. Someone started recording. "You know what?" Michael's voice got louder, performance mode kicking in. "I tried to be nice. But you want to be stubborn?" He stepped closer. using his 6'2" frame to tower over her. "Maybe you didn't hear me, ghetto girl. This is Jefferson High, not some hood school. We don't tolerate your type here." "My type?" "Yeah. Loud, rude, probably got kids already, and collecting government checks." That's when Ava had officially heard enough. "Meet me in the parking lot after school," she said, her voice cutting through his rant like a blade. "Just you and me." Dead silence. Pin drop quiet. Michael laughed, but it sounded forced. "You want to fight me? Girl, I'm 6'2", 220. I bench 300 pounds. I could snap you like a twig." "Then you got nothing to worry about." The news spread through Jefferson High faster than gossip at church. By 3:30, half the school had gathered in the parking lot. Kids were taking bets. Teachers stood at the edges, ready to intervene. Michael showed up fashionably late, playing to the crowd like WWE. He'd taken off his hoodie to show off muscles built in his family's private gym. His crew was hyping him up about putting this girl in her place. Next to him, Ava looked impossibly small in jeans and a vintage Oakland A's t-shirt. She stretched quietly in the corner, movements fluid like a dancer warming up. If anyone there knew boxing, they would have recognized a serious fighter's warm-up, but these suburban kids had no clue what they were about to witness. "Last chance to apologize," Michael offered magnanimously. "Say you're sorry for disrespecting me and my school." Ava stood up straight, and everyone could finally see the quiet confidence in her posture. Someone who'd never backed down from anything. "You know what your problem is, Michael. You think because I'm black, because I'm from Oakland, because I don't dress like your little girlfriends, that means I'm less than you." She took a step forward, and something in her movement made the crowd lean in. "You're about to learn something your daddy's money can't buy you." Michael's face turned red. "You little—" He rushed forward, throwing a wild haymaker that would have destroyed most high school kids. His fist cut through air with freight train power, but Ava wasn't most kids. She slipped the punch so smoothly it looked like dancing to music only she could hear. Michael's fist whooshed past her ear, throwing him completely off balance. Then she stepped forward and delivered a picture-perfect left hook to his solar plexus. The punch was short, sharp, surgical precision. All those years of training compressed into one perfect moment. Michael doubled over like he'd been hit by a truck, gasping for air that wouldn't come. His face turned 3 shades of purple. Before he could recover, Ava followed up with a right uppercut that caught him under the chin. His head snapped back, eyes rolled up, and he hit asphalt like a sack of potatoes. The entire thing lasted less than 15 seconds. Stunned silence, phones still recording, nobody making a sound. Michael lay dazed, struggling to breathe. Blood trickled from his nose. His designer shirt was dirty from pavement. Ava stood over him, not even breathing hard. "Get up," she said quietly. Michael tried to rise, but his legs were jelly. The fight, and his pride, completely knocked out. "I said get up." This time it was a command that made Michael struggle to his feet, swaying like a drunk. "Now apologize." "What?" "Apologize. To me and everyone here for thinking you could disrespect someone because of where they come from." Michael looked around at the crowd, at Daniel and Brandon Clark staring like they'd never seen him before. I'm sorry," he mumbled, blood dripping. Louder. "I'm sorry. I was wrong, completely wrong." Ava nodded, then did something nobody expected. She extended her hand to help him stand. "You know what, Michael? You're not bad. You're just scared. Scared that if you don't put others down, they might see you're not as special as you pretend." She looked at the crowd, most still recording. "That goes for all of y'all. I didn't come here for trouble. I came for education, but I will not let anyone disrespect me because of my race, my background, or where I'm from. Not here, not anywhere." She picked up her backpack and walked toward the exit. "And Michael? Next time you want to test somebody, make sure you know who you're testing first." The video went viral within hours, not just at Jefferson High, but across the entire internet. The clip of this quiet girl dropping the school's biggest bully with 2 perfect punches was shared millions of times with hashtags like Josh Jefferson Knockout, and Josh Lightning Ava Local News picked it up. then national, then international. The teenage boxer who stood up to a racist bully became a global phenomenon. But the real change happened at Jefferson High. The next morning, everything was different. Students who'd never spoken to Ava nodded respectfully in hallways. Michael and his crew kept distance and stopped targeting other students. Daniel Davis helped freshmen pick up dropped books. Brandon Clark said, "Please and thank you" for the first time ever. The power dynamic had shifted overnight. 3 months later, Ava was approached by Jessica Johnson, student body president. "Ava, what you did changed everything. Kids who've been bullied for years are speaking up, but there's something bigger happening." She explained about older kids at Westfield Mall harassing students from multiple schools, racist attacks that police were ignoring. "We heard about your boxing background. Would you help us? Not to fight, but just be there." Ava remembered her grandmother's words. When you got power to help someone who can't help themselves and you choose to walk away, that's when you lose a piece of your soul. When and where? That Saturday, Ava met 12 students at the mall food court. They weren't there for trouble, just to exist, take up space, show they belonged. At 2 p.m., 5 older teens in Confederate flags and MAGA hats made their usual rounds. The leader, Tyler, had face tattoos and a patchy beard. They targeted Isabella first, a Latina girl doing homework. "Hey, illegal," Tyler said loudly. "You got papers? Time to go back where you came from." That's when Ava stood up. "Is there a problem here?" Tyler's face lit up. Another one who thinks she's tough. His friends spread out in a circle. They'd done this before. "Maybe it's time someone taught you about knowing your place." Tyler stepped closer. "Funny," Ava said, calculating angles like she was back in Coach Martinez's gym. "I was thinking the same thing." Tyler swung first. A telegraphed right cross Ava saw coming from across the state. She ducked so smoothly that Tyler spun like a ballerina. Then she delivered a left hook to his kidney that dropped him instantly. He hit the floor, gasping like a fish. His second friend rushed from the right. Ava pivoted, caught him with a perfect elbow to the jaw, followed by a right cross that put him next to his leader. The other 3 looked at their friends writhing on the floor, then at the small girl who'd put them there without breaking a sweat. They ran, literally abandoned their friends and fled. Mall security arrived as Ava helped Isabella up. Security cameras had caught everything. The harassment, racial slurs, the attack on Ava, and her textbook self-defense. This video also went viral, picked up by CNN, Fox News, ESPN. Everyone wanted to interview the teenage boxer taking a stand against racism. "I'm not trying to be famous," Ava told CNN during prime time. "I'm just trying to protect people who can't protect themselves. My grandmother taught me that with great strength comes great responsibility." College recruiters started calling. Olympic trainers reached out. Sponsorship deals poured in. But the most important call came from Principal Dr. Emily Johnson. "Ava, how would you feel about starting a self-defense program here? Teaching students to protect themselves, build confidence, understand conflict resolution." 6 months later, Ava stood in Jefferson High's gymnasium every Tuesday and Thursday, teaching 30 students of all backgrounds. They learned not just proper punches, but confidence, de-escalation, and when fighting back was appropriate. Other schools started requesting similar programs, and Michael Brown, he became one of her most dedicated students. "I still can't believe you're teaching me to box," he said after class one Thursday. "Why not?" "After what I did, what I said." Ava stopped putting equipment away. "Michael, you were taught that putting people down made you bigger, but that's not real strength. Real strength is lifting people up, protecting those who need protection, and having courage to admit when you're wrong." She headed toward the exit. "Besides, you apologized, you changed. You're trying to be better, that takes real courage too." "Can I ask you something?" "Shoot." "Why didn't you just destroy me completely?" "You could have." Ava thought for a moment. "Because destroying you wouldn't have fixed anything. It would have felt good for minutes, but wouldn't have changed your heart. And changing hearts is the only way to really change the world." On graduation day, Ava stood at the podium as valedictorian. When I first walked through Jefferson High's doors, I thought I had to hide who I was to fit in. Make myself smaller, quieter, less threatening, so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. She found her parents in the front row, mother crying happy tears, father beaming with pride. Coach Martinez had flown up from Oakland. But I learned something important here. You don't honor your ancestors by diminishing yourself. You honor them by standing tall, refusing to accept less than you deserve, and fighting, not just for yourself, but for everyone who comes after you. The crowd erupted in applause lasting 2 minutes. To all young people watching, especially those who look like me, who come from neighborhoods people fear, who carry accents people mock, listen carefully. Complete silence. You are not your circumstances. You are not stereotypes others force on you. You are not limited by zip code, bank account, or skin color. You are powerful beyond measure, and this world desperately needs what you have to offer. She held up her diploma, tears streaming. This diploma isn't just mine. This belongs to every Oakland kid told they weren't smart enough. This belongs to every bullied student. This belongs to every young person who fought for their seat and refused to give up. After the ceremony, a 13-year-old black girl approached shyly. "Miss Ava? I saw your videos. I start high school next year and I'm scared." Ava knelt to the girl's level. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Aaliyah." "Aaliyah, let me tell you something I wish someone had told me at your age. You're already braver than you know, just by being here, caring about your future." The girl hung on every word. High school might be challenging. People might try making you feel like you don't belong, like you're not good enough. But you've got something that can't be taught in classrooms or bought with money. What's that? You've got the strength of every black woman who came before you. Your grandmothers, great-grandmothers, ancestors who survived slavery and Jim Crow, they all survived so you could thrive. Don't ever forget that power running through your veins. Aaliyah nodded solemnly, then surprised Ava with a huge hug. 5 years later, Dr. Ava Washington, Stanford pre-med graduate on full boxing scholarship, now in final year medical school, returned to Jefferson High as keynote speaker for their annual Overcoming Adversity Assembly. The auditorium was packed beyond capacity. Students sat in aisles, stood in back, watched from overflow rooms. Michael Brown, now a social worker helping at-risk youth, introduced her. Sometimes people come into your life and change everything. They challenge you to be better than you thought possible. Ava Washington is one of those people. She didn't just change our school, she changed all of us. As Ava took the stage, she noticed a new banner. Lightning Ava Washington, Jefferson High Hall of Fame, Class of 2029. Real strength lifts others up. 10 years ago, Ava walked into this school as a scared Oakland girl who wanted to fit in and not cause trouble. I walked out 4 years later, having learned that the greatest victory isn't proving you belong somewhere. It's making space for others to belong too. She looked at the sea of young faces, many black and brown kids seeing themselves reflected. Your background doesn't determine your future. Your race doesn't limit potential. Your parents' bank account doesn't define worth. Your circumstances, no matter how difficult, don't get to write your story's final chapter. Thunderous applause, but Ava raised her hand for quiet. But let me also say this to anyone who thinks they can judge someone by zip code, accent, hair, or skin color. Let me remind you about Jefferson High. Underestimating people isn't just morally wrong, it's also really, really dangerous. She grinned, that same confident smile that had terrified Michael Brown years ago. Because you never know when you might be messing with lightning. The crowd exploded in cheers lasting 5 minutes, but as Ava looked at all those young faces, kids who now knew they could be anything, do anything, overcome anything, she realized the real victory wasn't the knockout punch in the parking lot. The real victory was this: a generation of young people who would never again accept being told they were less than anyone else, and that was worth every fight she'd ever had to fight. If this story inspired you, if it made you think differently about judging people, or if you loved seeing a bully get exactly what he deserved, then you need to hit that subscribe button right now. We share incredible stories like this daily, stories about underdogs who refuse to back down, people who overcome impossible odds, and moments that restore your faith in humanity. And don't forget to smash that like button if you're Team Ava. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever had to stand up to a bully? What would you have done in Ava's situation? Ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. Thanks for watching. And remember, your background doesn't determine your future. You determine your future. I'll see you in the next one.